Okay, for this podcast, I'm going to teach you a different way to factor quadratic polynomials besides kind of a guessing and checking type method. It's a little bit longer of a method, but it's a little bit more concrete as well. It takes some of the guessing and checking out of some of the terms that have a lot of factors in them. The first thing you'll notice about this quadratic polynomial is there's not a common factor that you can take out of all three terms. If there is a common factor, you definitely want to factor that out first before you use this method. Otherwise, the method won't work. So looking at these three terms, there's not a common factor we can take out. So this method begins by making a rectangular box that has 4 sections in it. So it looks like that. Then you take this first term, the leading term here, your x squared term, and put it in the upper right part of the rectangular box. And then you take this last term, the constant term, and put that in your lower. So I said upper right. This should be upper left part, and this should be in the lower right. All right. Now what you're going to do is you're going to multiply these two terms together. 4x squared times negative 15x. That will give you a negative, I'll put this down here, negative 60x squared. And this is going to belong to a giant X here that I'm going to put in black. And this, since we multiplied these together, this is what we want our two factors to multiply to as well. We're going to fill in the remaining boxes with factors, and these factors want to multiply to this term right here, this negative 60x squared. What the factors are going to add to is this term right here, negative 4, I'll change my pen color, the negative 4x. So now we need to analyze this situation and think of two factors that multiply to negative 60x squared and add to negative 4x. So if they multiply to a negative, one has to be positive, one has to be negative. And you think of some factors of 60, 15 and 4, 12 and 5, 6 and 10. The one you're looking for is 6 and 10, because to get them to multiply to negative 60, we're going to need a negative 10x and a positive 6x. And again, you can check. Negative 10x times 6x, well, that would be negative 60x squared. Negative 10x plus 6x, you'll get a negative 4x. These are our remaining terms for other boxes. We'll put our negative 10x here, and it doesn't matter which box you put them in, and then our 6x here. And you'll see why in just a sec. So now, how we're going to generate our actual factors for this quadratic is you're going to factor kind of each row and column separately. Looking at this first, and I'll go back to red for this one. Oh, red, excuse me. Looking at this first column here, the common factor I can take out of this whole column, I could take out a 2 as well as an x. For this row right here, again, factoring out common terms for this row, I could also take out a 2 and an x. All right. So now, if you notice here, you have 2x times 2x. That will give us a 4x squared in this box. So now we have to think of a term that's going to go right here, that when multiplied by 2x will get us to negative 10x. Well, 2x times negative 5 will get us to negative 10x. We do that same little trick here. What do we have to multiply 2x by to get to 6x? And that would be a positive 3. Here's the ultimate check to make sure this method works. 3 times negative 5 would be negative 15. So yeah, it works. And these right here are our factors for this quadratic. Let me write them out in the normal way you would see them. You'd normally see them written out as 2x plus 3 times 2x minus 5. Excuse me. So you can see that this method is a lot easier, a lot less guessing and checking to get to your answer rather than the guess and check method. You can also check to make sure that this answer is correct if you want to FOIL it out, get the exact same polynomial you started with.